Welcome to the Through the Table podcast with Tom, Rick, Russ, JL, and Brock. Welcome back to part 2 of Through the Table podcast number 17. Enjoy the show.
I guess we should move on to Dynamite and talk about something a little bit different now. The big Grand Slam show on Wednesday.
That was one hot crowd, huh?
Yes, very much. That was wild.
It was a great crowd.
Even
Honestly,
before anything happened, it was louder than you've heard in a while.
Right. I think as soon as as soon as the show started and Omega and Danielson were both in the ring, the crowd both they all started chanting, "This is awesome!"
Yep.
Mhm.
Before the match even started.
Yep.
And then the fact that the pop they got when they locked up
Yes.
That was wild. Yeah.
was
Popped over
louder
a
than
lockup.
was louder than so like I don't even know. I've heard like WrestleManias like were quieter than that pop. It was absurd. It was absolutely absurd for a lockup.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. And that match delivered, by the way. That match
Oh, it was
absolutely
incredible.
delivered.
Totally.
I've been seeing people complain that it went to a time limit draw, but these are people who aren't used to the fact that because WWE doesn't do any long-term booking anymore. AEW does it old school with this long-term booking, and you can see what they're doing. Kenny Omega tweets out right away, there ain't going to be no rematch. Well, that's from Rocky.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Apollo Crews, but Apollo Creed.
Thank God it's not Apollo Crews.
Seriously.
I think what they
strange Nigerian accent that didn't exist 2 months ago.
I think what they should have done at the end, instead, like you could see that it was happening, that they were going to go to the Broadway finish, but I wish maybe it was like they both passed out or something like that. Instead of the Young Bucks coming out and then the whole thing like that, you'd something as much as you were expecting the Broadway, maybe mix it up to where the Young Bucks aren't going to show up. Or if the Young Bucks show up, they're concerned because Kenny Omega is passed out or whatever, and they don't get physical or anything.
I think the whole reason why they did the physicality was to set up the Bucks and Cole versus Jurassic and Christian for tonight, actually, right? I think it's tonight.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yep.
So I could see that. I totally get it. I'm starting to get sick of the whole, Kenny Omega after every match is some kind of schmoz, and it's you know what I mean. Like there's only so many times you can leave people laying, and you know what I mean. It's kind of like the NWO thing. After a while, it gets really stale.
Yeah. No, they have to do something with them because they've been doing it all for how many weeks now, months now, That's why they got the cage match to lose to tag titles so that they couldn't do their shenanigans and everything.
Right.
Eventually
Definitely building to something.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just we have to get there.
Yep. And I think that's the problem. I think we've all gotten so used to the fact that WWE hot shots quite a bit, especially lately, and the fact that they don't really have any long-term booking strategy. Let's say The Rock does show up for WrestleMania. That's something that they should be doing a long-term booking, and they're really not as far as that goes. So We've gotten so used to these. And think about this is a company that Friday night will put a match on for the next night of night one of WrestleMania. your biggest show, you're getting a match together the night before. So zero long-term booking whatsoever. And I think people have gotten so used to that when we get to storylines like this, people don't understand it.
Yep.
It's been a long time since we've had long-term booking. It's
Or
refreshing.
the whole Hangman, beating Omega thing, or how long that's been going on for now, the slow build to that.
Yep.
And, people are like, well, he's not going to win now because he's not around anymore. Oh, no. It's like, they're not going to change up what they have planned for just because they sign a certain wrestler or someone else comes in. They just integrate them to the story, but they'll always go back to what they have planned. They're not going to change it up. WWE would change it up, immediately.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
Daniel
100%.
Bryan's the hot person. Put the belt on him on Wednesday. Like, whoa, why are we doing that?
Oh, they would totally do that.
Mm-hmm.
Totally would have done that.
Yep.
WWE would have had Punk win the title the night. Well, they probably wouldn't because they hated him, but they would have had him win the title. They would have had him come out and Dynamite right away.
Yeah.
And then somehow he's closing the show winning the belt. Just like Monday night, you had that 6-man tag. And then all of a sudden we now have a 3-way at the end with the same people. Like, it's
Correct.
It's just laziness.
Yep. It shows you the difference between the two companies right now.
So my buddy brought up an interesting point about Dynamite Wednesday night, which was you after that match, you had Punk come out and he was kind of like, whoa, kind of hard to follow what they just did. And
Yeah.
Though it was 100% accurate, it kind of almost said good luck to everybody else who was about to come out and work matches,
Sure.
especially MJF and Pillman Jr. And I don't know about you guys, but I thought that Pillman Jr. Looked a little pudgy.
Slow. He looks like he was in slow motion.
I couldn't believe how slow he was running the ropes. That was like pissing me off. I was like, what?
He looked a good 20 or 30 pounds heavier, which added to the slowness.
Yeah.
But you're right, so slow.
Oh my God, was he slow? Yeah, that's the first thing I got from it. It was so slow.
Green.
He was like that the other night, though, when he wrestled Max Caster on Rampage. Was it last week or the week before? And it was
2 weeks ago, yeah.
So it was the same thing. Like, I've only seen, I don't really watch Dark. So, like, the only time I've really seen Pillman and Garrison is, when they're usually jobbing out on Dynamite and they don't really get a lot of offense. But, now that they're trying to build him up as a viable singles competitor, he's just being able to showcase a lot more of his work. He's he's not bad. Like if he could main event a high school gym, definitely.
He's only been a pro for 4 years, so
right. But but at the same time, I feel like when you're, like when you're in AEW, and I'm not saying everybody needs to be like this. And like you said, he's only been in there for 4 years, but he's got to figure out then how to work. Like, because you're not gonna get over doing a springboard clothesline when you got Ray Phoenix and the Jackson brothers and Dante Martin on your roster.
Sure,
what I mean? Matt Sydal,
Mm-hmm.
Jack Evans. It's there's got to be something else that they can, I guess, focus on with him, because it's if they're gonna actually put him, to be a mid-card singles guy at some point.
At some point they will. I think they're kind of just giving him some exposure as a singles guy right now, but he should stick with the tag team for a while, because they actually work all right together. They're not so bad. Right. But on Dark, they're basically carrying all the match and everyone's putting it all through. They don't look terrible, but what do you get 4 minutes? There's not a whole lot you're going to improve upon. So I think that's kind of what they're trying to do as well, by giving him a few of these singles matches where he gets more than two minutes of time in a tag match, in a squash match.
It just looked to me like his cardio was way low, was way down. Like I said, he's gained some weight recently. He's not fat. He's just pudgy.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But, and the only other issue I had from that night too is 62-year-old Sting should not be making anyone tap out. Especially
No,
a
but
team built-
you can tell that FTR is such a big fan of Sting they probably pulled that one and said that's what's happening. I could see them do that.
Oh, 100%. But I mean, if we're gonna be honest, this version of Sting is a third of what Sting used to be, and he should not be making anyone tap out.
Totally agree. I mean, he looked great because FTR made him look good. I mean, other matches you saw him and he didn't look anywhere near like he did on Wednesday. But yeah, Darby should be the one that gets put over, obviously, not Sting. It's not 2.0 against them, so whatever,
Right.
2.0, fine. Let Sting pin them. No, that's no big deal.
Is it just me? Like, I don't even like FTR, but I feel like they should have went over in that.
Yeah,
They should have, but I know for a fact they probably said we're not going to. They just love all the old 80s guys and working the old tag teams. Like if the Rock and Roll Express ever came in and worked with them, they'd put the Rock and Roll Express over. There's no reason why they should, but they so would.
Right.
They so would.
See, I mean, that's cool and all, but at the same time, I feel like do you remember a time when FTR was considered like the best tag team in the business at one point? Like, but and it's they, even before AEW, when it was like, oh, someday we're gonna wrestle the Young Bucks.
Yep.
And it's like, and once again, I hate to reference Jim Cornette again, but he even said, he's like, people thought FTR was the greatest tag team, like present today.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, then there was the indie fans that thought the Bucks.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's just like Cornette says, oh, well, the Bucks finally hired FTR to basically put them over, settle the debate on who's the best tag team. And then you just don't see them on TV. I mean, because it's true that it's other than the past 3 weeks, when was the last time you seen him on TV?
Against Santana Ortiz.
Yeah.
Well, that was 3 weeks ago, right?
No, that was like 8 or 9 weeks ago because
was it really? Jesus Christ!
Cash had the arm injury and he was out of action for like 6 weeks.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I feel like that was like a month ago.
A little bit longer.
Didn't feel like that long.
They said it was 6 to 8 weeks. I don't remember the exact time on it, but it was longer than a month.
I feel like that was like he was hurt and like 3 weeks later he was back.
No, it wasn't quite that quickly.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, they had a match after that then. They had a match recently that wasn't this
right.
They had two. They had the 6-man with Spears.
Right. They had the rematch with Santana and Ortiz.
Yep. And then the week after they fought 6-man with Spears. I don't remember who they fought though. I can't recall the opponents. But it was the week after.
Pinnacle kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure most
outside
of
of Wardlow and MJF.
Yeah.
I was just saying most of it probably. I would say Sean Spears definitely brings down that team like a lot.
Well, you need the job guy in every group.
They've tried so hard to get him over any way that they can, and he's a lead balloon. He's not going over anything. He's terrible. And the WWE tried too. I mean, yeah, they saddled him with that perfect 10 thing. But look, he should just be happy that he's nailing Peyton Royce and call it a day.
I agree.
And he gets paid. He shows up. He gets a few matches and loses. So that's great. He gets paid. That's all he needs to care about.
Right.
He looks like a douchebag.
Fact.
I guess he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He doesn't look it though.
Yeah, you can't judge a book by its cover, but he looks like probably the biggest douchebag in the locker room.
It's the haircut.
It
Probably.
really is.
Probably.
It's you know what? No, it's yeah, he looks like a douchebag, but he also looks like a tryhard. Like he's trying hard to look like a douchebag.
That's
but he's
true, I agree.
Canadian, so he's probably you're
Yeah.
right. He's probably like extremely nice.
Right.
But he with the stupid mohawk and he's got the sleeves going. He's trying hard. I guarantee you, 3 years ago, it went out of style longer than that, but 3 years ago he was wearing Affliction and Ed Hardy because he's trying to look like a douchebag.
Probably not wrong. Probably not wrong.
I feel like that's what the Bucks are doing right now too. It's you know what I mean, like that's I feel like that's exactly the Bucks gimmick. That's their heel gimmick right now is their tryhards.
Oh yeah.
Let's wear the most ridiculous on television we can.
Oh yeah.
And you know what I mean, or like, do you watch the Being the Elite on YouTube?
Every once in a while.
So like I every now and again, if I'm just like in my workshop, like messing around, I'll throw it on YouTube on my TV.
Yeah.
And it's like there was a while where I didn't watch it, and it went from it was like a travel blog vlog or whatever you want to call it. Then it turned into like a skit show, and now it's like back to kind of a travel blog, vlog. But now
Yeah.
it's like, but like the majority of the show is like them buying sneakers. Their new thing is just shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just
Yep.
like, but that's, and it's like, I don't know if they're doing it to, for like I said, they're trying to be like tryhards, but it's like, I don't get walked into a store and bought, a pair of Air Jordans for $1,000. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, I like, I guess maybe some people might like that, but it's just, I don't care that you're wrestling in $6,000 Dior sneakers. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't care. Like, but that's their whole gimmick is that,
Yeah.
we just don't give.
Mm-hmm.
They gave Punk a pair of Jordans. Those the ones he was wearing on Wednesday night.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally the new thing now. It's like every Being the Elite, there's a segment with both Jacksons and Kenny Omega, and I bought these shoes today. They're originally $90. I bought them. I spent $680 on these shoes, and it's like you know what I mean. It's that's 2 car payments for me, and you're gonna it's just I mean, and like I said, maybe that's why they're doing it, because I think they're douches
sure.
because they're dropping $700 on a pair of sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to you. Their gimmick's working.
But it's like I said, I don't know if it's like genuine, or if it's the fact that I know that they're just trying too hard to like be different heels. You know what I mean? Like they're not the old school beer drinking, like barrel chested heels, and
Sure.
I think there's some truth to it. I think there's some, not to go back to what we're talking about, but I think there's some truth in every gimmick. Well, not the over the top 80s gimmicks, like the hog farmers and the dumpsters and things like that.
Repo Man.
Yeah, but I think like in today's day and age, I think there's truth in every gimmick. So they may actually be legit douchebags. This just gives them a chance to get it out.
Maybe. Who knows?
Sneakers. I want to see him go to Marshall's and buy goddamn sneakers at Marshall's. That's what I want to see.
I've never gotten sneakerheads. I never have. Like, I got sneakers that they're not big deals. Like, I didn't spend much money on them.
Sure.
That I try not to wear because I really like them and I don't want to ruin them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine spending hundreds of dollars on something that goes on my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife bought me a pair of sneakers at the Nike outlets at the mall at Foxwoods once.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, how much did you spend on these? She's like, oh, well, they were on clearance for like $70. And I was like, you spent $70 on these shoes? Like, I was so upset.
Yep.
And it's just, and my wife's like, what are you talking? Like, that's not a lot. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's so much money for sneakers. And she's like, that's really not.
No.
I'm like, but when I go to Marshall's, I get for $70, I could buy 42 pairs of sneakers at Marshall's.
And a couple of shirts.
Yeah, and a couple shirts. Some,
And a bag of trail mix.
yeah.
And the trail mix costs the most.
Yeah. I mean, all my sneakers are bright yellow, but hey, I got 42 pairs of them.
Oh, if I could find them there, I'd be happy. I wear a size 15. It's not easy to find those anywhere.
Yeah, same here.
Jesus.
15 wides.
Wow.
15 wide, Jesus.
What Marshalls do you go to? I can't find anything near me.
I'm trying to think. There's a couple of them around, but it's like,
Wait, Rick, that's why your shoes cost $70. That's a lot of material they got to use for those.
yeah, I should just use the boxes instead.
It's already got the Nike logo on it.
Yeah.
Just tape it to your
15
foot.
on the streets and 15 in the sheets.
We've learned on this podcast who's doing the helicopter challenge.
Yeah, really.
It's not my size 10 and a half.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting TikTok, the helicopter challenge.
Oh no.
Which wrestlers would do the helicopter challenge and which ones wouldn't?
Right now, I don't think many would be
I would say
touching that
none
one
of
at all.
They might stay away from that.
They're
one.
all staying away from that one.
Thank you for watching part 2 of Through the Table podcast, number 17. Part 3 will be uploaded very shortly. Thank you.